Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Wednesday, January 15th, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2025. The eruption at Kīlauea commences the fourth phase of the eruption since it began December 23rd. Lava fountaining has been seen up to 200 feet, 70 meters high, and it has been increasing as the day progresses. We also have updates on the LA fire, which is currently a crime scene. Keep calm. It's boom time. Well, there are now 5 active fires in LA County, and the largest, the Palisades fire, is still a crime scene. You can see the crime scene tape here. This is just on the top of the ridge where all of the fires began over a week ago. And dangerous winds continue today amid the LA fires, which is sparking a new fire. The Little Mountain Fire just kicked up just about 10 or 12 hours ago. Let's take a look. It started today. There is no containment on the fire, but it has burned 61 acres. The main fire in the set and the first to be lit is the Palisades fire. That's where we saw the crime scene tape there earlier. Began up here in the north and spread to the south and east and west from there. Currently 23,713 acres burned. That number hasn't changed at all in the last 48 hours. Containment has. The number's gone up to 21%. Good news there. The Eaton fire, no growth at all in the last 48 hours. 14,117 acres burned, now at 45% containment. The Hearst fire is all but out and 98% containment at this point at 799 acres. They thought they had a handle on the auto fire, but a new jump out started. It's now grown to 61, but containment is approaching 90%. That's good news for California as a whole, but we still have a few more days of wind to contend with. The good news, there are tens of thousands of firefighters in the region, and our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all those fighting the fires. January 2025 is very cold so far. In fact, the coldest on record for areas on the East Coast, including North Carolina. In fact, it might make your teeth chatter. But buckle up, Buttercup. That chattering teeth will continue through the end of January. And weekend forecasts predict temperatures 5 to 10 degrees below normal due to an Arctic air mass dropping down into the region. So bundle up. It's going to feel like minus 40 once the coldest temperatures this year arrive, especially up in Minnesota and the Dakotas. And wind chill is even expected to hit a whopping minus 56 degrees on a Colorado peak amid the 4-day Arctic blast. Now, what's going on? Well, it's a blue norther, and it will plunge through the plains. We did a show on the blue norther, and all that means is that the jet stream breaks down into meridional flow, which is very wavy, and there is a huge plume of the polar vortex that extends down into the U.S. Now, this isn't the first time anything like this has happened. The actual Great Norther occurred in 1899. It was the nation's worst, most prolific outbreak ever, where temperatures in Amarillo, Texas went from 70 degrees during the day to a low of 13. And Oklahoma City set both a daily record of 83 before the front and a daily record low of 17. So this is the type of Arctic front we're talking about, and it is going to be coming soon. And if it's going to be cold for the rest of January, that means snow, and even snow in Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis. And another winter storm could dump several inches of snow in parts of PA, including Philly, and it's getting quite chilly. Here's the full forecast. And chilly indeed. I woke up this morning with a temperature of -1 Fahrenheit. We've been in the sub-zero many times this year, And, well, -1 is about as cold as it's gotten, but it's looking like the next week or so we will dip even deeper. Critical fire weather conditions continue for Southern California, much colder in the central and eastern U.S. Critical fire weather conditions will continue for the coastal and Southern California through today due to moderate to locally strong Santa Ana winds. The good news is the map has reduced those red flag warnings to just a very small region. So maybe things are changing out there for the better. Particularly dangerous situation red flag warnings remain in effect, however, and cold temperatures continue today from the Midwest to the central Appalachians with a brief warm-up for the end of the week, but then an extreme drop. An Arctic cold snap is expected over the weekend and following the next week. And that means anywhere precipitation will fall, it will fall as snow. There's that southern storm we've been tracking, and it's going to pack a punch wherever it does land. But let's take a look at the thermodynamics first. And this is going to show us how cold it's going to get, how quick. You can see the east is buried in freezing temperatures right now. And let's move it through. And it is not until the weekend you can see this plume beginning to develop here. Friday night into Saturday morning, it's going to drop down and bring those extreme sub-zero temperatures on the 19th, Saturday and Sunday, into regions like North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, Wyoming are going to be seeing 10 degrees below zero or more with wind chills to -30. Here is Monday, Tuesday. Take a look at this plume over Canada. Absolutely dangerous situation over thousands of square miles early next week. And it's going to be cold in Florida. We're going to have an iguana apocalypse maybe towards the end of January, mid next week. We could be seeing temperatures in Miami in the low 40s. And the cold weather continues through the end of the month. And then we see some moderation in the west here. We're going to have a nice little Indian summer here as November approaches. And so we can just run the thermodynamics through. It's going to get warm in the east as well as we head into November. But we can see those cold plumes looming up above. Let's take a look at the total snowfall for the next few days. We can at least parse this out Thursday, Friday as we enter the weekend. That's the snow on the ground. So light snow for the Northeast, heavy snow for the central Appalachians, and some light snow for the northern Rockies. Through the weekend, Saturday, Sunday into Monday, more snow for the Northeast and southern regions. Take a look at that. Maybe even some snow for the panhandle of Texas. Here is the forecast Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That southern storm we've been tracking for a week develops. It's anyone's guess how close to the coast this is going to get, but it will be significant nonetheless. Here is Thursday, the 23rd, 24th, and the 25th, lighting up a string of 16 inches or more across the entire Appalachians. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! Al Gore is not happy about the forecast. But we are. Polar conditions grip southeast Europe, a deadly avalanche in Italy, and Germany's heating demand soars. Holy macaroni. It is cold out there, kids. And it's not just the U.S. Southeastern Europe is enduring a brutal cold spell this week. Temperatures have tanked well below seasonal norms with ice, heavy snow, and widespread disruptions sweeping a large region. Freezing weather has blanketed much of the Balkans, disrupting transportation, closing schools, and isolated remote villages. A storm system unleashed powerful winds and substantial snow across countries such as Albania, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, Croatia, Greece, Italy, Montenegro, Northern Macedonia, and even Slovenia. Say that 5 times fast. In Bulgaria's Smolensk region, the snow piled up 40-plus centimeters, bringing significant delays, while in northern Macedonia, regions such as Prilep have imposed restrictions on large vehicles as snow made regional roads treacherous. Here you can see a tractor plowing somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And a deadly avalanche in Italy. Recent heavy snowfall across Italian peaks has heightened the avalanche risk, leading to deadly incidents, unfortunately. And our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all those affected. After all, it is winter. Seismic update. Several quakes of note. Ethiopian East African rift zone continues to rumble with a tumble. We did have a blot echo earlier today. Hey. And just taking a look, it looks like low-level activity worldwide. We did have a quake over here in Alabama earlier, but that has gone off the map. So really nothing to report on. Normal activity worldwide. But it's not normal at Kīlauea. This is the fourth episode of an eruption that began within the crater. It's the main crater at Kīlauea, and it began on December 23rd as a Christmas miracle. Here is the live stream feed from the USGS showing live lava fountaining from the main crater. It's all been going along the edge of this escarpment here, which is the edge of the crater itself, and this fountaining is now being recorded to about 70 meters or 200 feet, however you want to look at it. Come over to the USGS. Will be linked below. Give them a thumbs up. Subscribe to that channel. It really helps us inform you on what's going on. Now at 9:15 a.m. HST, that's Hawaii Standard Time this morning, January 15th, the eruption at Kilauea's Kūlauea Summit caldera resumed with a small lava flow exiting the north vent. The current fountaining is at 70 meters or 200 feet high over the last extent of the eruption. And so we'll keep a close eye on what's going on at Kīlauea for you. But in the meantime, let's just enjoy some of the fountaining of the lava. It's so soothing. So if you need something to watch to go to bed tonight, you can come over here to the USGS and watch Kīlauea erupt. Worldwide volcano news for Wednesday, the 15th of January. Reventador, 14,500 feet. White Island, puffing and passing today. Santa Guito, 14,000 feet. Fuego to 15. Nevado de Ruiz, 19,000 foot blast. Ducono to 7. Semaru, who knew, now you do, puffing and passing today. Sangay to 20,000. Ibu on the list. Reventador, 15,000 foot blast today. Conleon on the list, 10,000 foot puff. Santa Guito to 14. Nevado de Ruiz, 19,000 foot on the webcam. Ibu on the list. Fuego to 15. Ducono to 8. Erta Ale, take a look at this. This is in the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia, part of that East African rift zone, which we've seen that seismicity increase. Incredible videos from the eruption site. We can see a half-naked dude standing right here near the lava flows. And we've got a new volcano to add to the list today, Talika Volcano in Nicaragua. A new eruption puffing and passing while people just go along their daily business. Conleon to 10,000 feet. Swanasima, not active. Sangay to 19,000 feet. Ibu on the list. Reventador, 15,000 foot blast. And wrapping up the list is Santa Guito, 14,000 foot puff. And that wraps up worldwide volcano news for the day. Hey. A quick look over at space weather at solarham.com. We have this major sunspot group that turned around the limb 2 days ago. Another group, active region 3961, looking pretty significant, as well as active region 3962. None of these regions are doing anything as far as flaring. The sun has been quiet for 5 straight days. Nothing in the M-flare range. 3-day geomagnetic forecast, all quiet. KP currently at 3. Very little chance of aurora as we wait for some of these sunspots to do something. And let's take a look at Comet Atlas C3 moving across LASCO C3's imagery there. Absolutely spectacular. This comet is making its way at perigee around the sun, and it's quite fun to watch it and in LASCO's C3 imagery. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Hopefully we could see maybe a discharging of this comet as it now proceeds back into the deep recesses of our solar system for its next approach. Now, we are at the 20-year anniversary of the Huygens orbiter that landed on Saturn's moon Titan 20 years ago. Huygens landed on Saturn's moon and caught some of the most breathtaking images of any of the moons in our solar system in recorded history. Huygens made the trip to Saturn's moon aboard NASA's Cassini spacecraft. After Huygens patiently waited its turn aboard Cassini for several years, it released Huygens on its trip towards Titan on December 25th, Christmas Day, 2004. And on January 14th, Huygens entered the moon's atmosphere and took 2 hours to reach the surface where it landed. And on the surface, it continued to record and send information for over 90 minutes. Let's take a look at the historical entry of Huygens into Titan's atmosphere, descending down onto the surface. We can see here what appears to be mountains, a mountainous surface with many depressions. And it could be ice here, some type of ice forming, extremely cold ice, dark branching drainage channels as well, which may not be drainage channels at all. But this is rivers of methane ice, and where they may have one time flowed. Absolutely spectacular. There could have also been a global ocean of liquid hydrocarbon. Yet we are told in grade school that hydrocarbons are fossil fuels. Well, apparently there were lots of animals running around Titan because they have entire oceans of hydrocarbons, similar to Venus. Yeah, we've been lied to. And let's take this all the way through to the landing. Why not? This is a time lapse of the 2-hour reentry, and then the landing on Titan, and then the dark floodplain with rounded rocks, which appear to be weathered by water ice. How do you like them apples? All the links will be below. SpaceX launches 2 lunar landers to the moon. So apparently private companies are going to get to the moon before NASA, which is never a straight answer anyway. But privately built spacecraft from Texas-based Firefly and Japan iSpace are conducting experiments for future missions. And all they needed was a ride up to space, so Elon Musk was more than happy to get them there. 2 privately built lunar landers were speeding towards the moon on Wednesday after space startups from Texas and Japan split the cost of an early hours ride aboard a SpaceX Falcon rocket. The 1:11 a.m. ET launch from Florida's Kennedy Space Center saw many idiots on the internet reporting alien activity as they recorded the launch. So what's going on up in the moon? Well, it is a race for resources. You know why? Because our entire planet is being polluted by multinational corporations. First, it was the pharmaceutical companies at the turn of the century. Then it was Big Ag, and now we're back to the pharmaceutical companies and back to Big Ag and the food industry. And all this, including the chemical companies like DuPont and Bayer, etc., they're all connected to Big Ag and big business. And over 97 million U.S. residents have been exposed to unregulated contaminants in their drinking water. We call it Teflon. It was a breakthrough back in the 90s. Everything was going to be waterproof. And what actually happened is now everything is toxic. All the rainwater, all the groundwater, and all the ice worldwide contaminated with forever chemicals, PFAS and PFOS, and well, all that garbage, perfluoroalkylated poison. Nearly a third of people in the U.S. have been exposed to unregulated contaminants in their drinking water that could impact their health, according to new analysis by scientists at the Silent Spring Institute. What's more, Hispanic and Black residents are more likely than other groups to have unsafe levels of these contaminants in their drinking water and more likely to live near these polluted sources. Here's the paper, Socioeconomic Disparities and Exposure to PFAS and Other Unregulated Industrial Drinking Water Contaminants in the Public Water System. There is no way you can escape from these contaminants. There are peer-reviewed papers now showing that these PFAS chemicals are in rainwater worldwide, which means all aquifers, all rivers, lakes, and streams. And there's only one way to prevent your family from exposure to this, and it's filtering the water. The ITEL portable reverse osmosis water filtration system. We've partnered with the ITEL team, and we're offering this to you for the lowest price on earth. Use our coupon code ORP20 for 20% off and get the cheapest, most reliable reverse osmosis water filtration system on earth for just $250 delivered. Shipping's free. Buy extra filters. A single unit will filter 600 to 800 gallons of pure, safe drinking water for your families and your friends and your loved ones. There is no reason to drink contaminated water when there are low-cost options to keep you safe. Go get it. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share the video. We're shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Please become a subscriber. Help our channel grow and reach more viewers. The more people subscribe, the more people that watch and hit the thumbs up, the more it gets shared by the algorithm. It's that simple. We love each and every one of you. Do what you can to help our channel grow. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom.